everybody! This video I thought was something that was much needed in the community because I don't see a ton of people talking about it. I've seen a couple of people talking about it, but not as many as I think should, based on the prevalence of this kind of stuff. So today we're not going to do like a plan with me. I have my notebook and my pen out again, so usually that means we're going to talk about something serious. I'm not doing a haul, no cute sticker flip through, none of that. Today we're going to talk about something like pretty serious. And I think it's kind of long overdue, especially on my channel. I think people with larger platforms should be talking about stuff like this, especially as it pertains to the community. So we're going to talk a little bit today about scams in the planner community, and there's a variety of them. This kind of caught my interest because I am doing research right now for the podcast that I'm about to start called Planning a Crime. And while these are not crimes, I thought that this would be like kind of a cool segue into that. So scams, definitely not crimes, but just a little scammy. Maybe crimes in some way if like money wasn't returned. Under all of our beautiful washi tape and our pastel pens, I feel like this problem has been like pretty prevalent over the years, and I've been in this community since 2016 and I've seen this happen so many times. People are just getting scammed. It's so lame that people are scamming other people over like stickers and paper, which is like essentially what we're all doing. Like, I don't know, that's like, you stole my lunch money or something. Like, it's so lame. Like, it's the epitome of like, we're all kind of nerdy, right? But like, it's like, come on guys, you know, like, it's just, I did not think that there would be scams in this community like that. And it's not just a one-off. There are repeated issues, repeated patterns, repeated names from yesteryear even, like people will be popping back up, fake shops, ghost sellers, even people misusing like fundraisers and stuff. So we're gonna talk about all of that today. I'm gonna break it down. I am gonna share names in some cases. In other cases I'm not, because I don't want to get sued or whatever. And in some of the things, like some of the people are still active in the community, and so I don't want to like, I don't know, I don't want people like running over there, so I'm just not going to share those names. But I do have the stories and receipts. I have screenshots to share, which I'll probably be putting like over to the side, you know, and covering up a little bit about what we're doing. But this is, again, not to like stir up any drama, like that's not really what I'm about, but I think that a lot of people, especially because I do have people who are new to the community that pop up on my channel, I think it's important for everyone to be aware and to not be taken advantage of. Just an FYI though, some of these scams are from a few years ago and I found them while I was researching for this video. So some are as old as like 2020, so some of them aren't like current, but I have seen current things happen that are similar. I just couldn't find like the exact, you know, type of thing happening, the type of scam happening, but I have seen these like pop up over and over and over just under different names. So I do think they still serve as like a valuable example, even though some of them are older and some of them are newer. And then everything, before I start this video, I just want to say, everything I'm sharing in this video is alleged. This video is for entertainment purposes only and is not meant to provide an accusation or allegations pertaining to legal aspects of business, buying, selling, or crowdfunding. I will not be redacting names from screenshots though, because if you're not proud of it, you probably shouldn't do it. That's what I think. The first little section here are scams in buy-sell trade groups. Let's just get that down in our notebook. And this is an EC dual tip marker. So our scams in and I call them BST, buy sell trade groups, and most of these groups are on the Meta platforms, so if you're not over there anymore you might not see them. If you aren't on Meta anymore and you are still like doing buy sell trade or whatever, and you're not using something like an eBay or a Mercari, and you are still like using like a group model, where are you going for those things? I am super curious, just as a little aside, because I don't know, man. I don't know how much longer I can hang on to Facebook. I don't know how much longer I can do it, but I hang on for things like this, like the buy sell trade groups, and for like my older family members and like some people that, you know, I want to keep up with after high school, that kind of thing. So yeah, let me know where you're buying and selling and trading if you're not on Facebook or on other Meta platforms. So let's start with the BST groups, or buy sell trade. So again, they're Facebook groups where you can sell or swap planner supplies, which is kind of cool. Most of them are like totally legit. Like I've had a lot of really great experiences, but unfortunately some scammers saw how trusting we were in this community, and that is like a big thing. I've noticed a lot of people are super trusting here, And I think a lot of scammers like kind of moved in on that. Yeah, one name that came up a lot during my research was somebody named Julia Lynn. I don't even know if this is a real name. I would assume this is probably like a burner account, who knows? But she would post like sought after planner bundles. So, or like, this was mostly, I think, Happy Planner stuff is from what I understood. She would post like full sticker books that were like new drops, or sometimes like I think she posted a few like EC collabs maybe, but I'm not sure. And then she would collect all the money via PayPal, friends and family. Side note, I don't use PayPal for this, like these exact reasons and for other reasons. But once the money hit, she'd like delete the posts, vanish, and then she would like block the person. And so they could not like get their money back. And because she used friends and family, there was no like guaranteed buyer protection and really no way to get that money back. I think people ended up filing like claims with PayPal, and I hope they got their money back. This is one of the older ones, but I do hope that they were able to get their money back because that is so lame. And then another person that I saw on these BST groups or buy sell trade was somebody named, I saw her at least 3 times, Jessie Newsom. And again, I don't know if these are people's real names or if they are like burner accounts, but it was like the same deal. People would send her money for sticker kits or planner items or whatever, and then she'd go radio silent, blocked, no traffic tracking info, no package. She just like disappeared into thin air. Definitely always use PayPal goods and services if you're going to, or you can use another platform like Venmo. I know a lot of people don't trust Venmo, but honestly, like that's the only one that I use because they have such good customer service and because they have such good rate of like actually believing people. Definitely was a scammer. But things like this happen all the time. Scammers love it when we, in communities like this, trust too easily. So if someone insists on friends and family, like if you're buying something, always ask for time-stamped photos. It's a huge red flag if they're like insisting on that friends and family, even if you're not comfortable with that. Yeah, always ask for time-stamped photos, proof of shipping, and do your research before hitting send. Something I've also done in some of these instances is like, okay, I will pay you like half of what it's worth or like half of what you're asking before I get tracking. And so then like if something like this were to happen, I'd only be out half, not like the full cost. Also, if you need like additional or added protection, you can also just skip the buy sell trade groups altogether. They can sometimes be a good place for finding deals and stuff, or like rare items, but something like an eBay or a Mercari, even though you are probably paying a bit of a markup price because they do charge a fee, it might be better like just for safety in general. So that is something that happens in our community, which is incredibly lame. I also want to talk about things like inflated resale, art theft, and fake charity. So these are all things that I also fell into the scammy category. Definitely super lame. super lame. We'll just put inflated resale. We'll make these each their own category. So we're just kind of taking notes as we go. I thought this might be kind of fun. Okay, so let's talk about this scam, this inflated resale. Like this drives me crazy. I don't know if this is a scam, but it's definitely something I feel like needs to be talked about. So it's like the one that hides behind like, I don't know, hustle or whatever. And so inflated reselling is so lame. You know, like when a planner collab or like a brand new release or something drops and then 5 minutes later it's on Mercari for like $150 when they bought it for like $10. I don't think that's hustle. Honestly, I am a hustler. Like I am out here like making my own money, building a business, that kind of thing. I don't think inflated resale is a hustle at all. I can respect like that we are in a crappy economy and that maybe people need to do what they can, but this inflated resale is more like exploitation. Like you're really kind of feeding off of people and their desperation for these products. And I think that's so lame. And it creates like scarcity that harms our actual like community members, I feel like. Not to mention it just like takes the joy away from folks who are really looking to enjoy the latest like release or like rare collabs. I think it's kind of lame in that way. And then there is digital theft. This is equally as lame. And I think this hurts like small businesses as well. I don't know. I think this is even more awful than like the other ones too. Because this, again, like you're basically pretending to be something that you're not. So several small shops and even like a few bigger ones have caught people stealing like stealing and selling their digital files. So sometimes when you are buying something on Etsy, it's just a digital file that you download. And there have been instances where people will just, you know, copy these exact like JPEGs or PNG files on Etsy, give them like 0 credit. And I think that's so lame. Sometimes they just alter the colors and call it their own, and some like don't even do that. It's very lame, especially in the cases where it's their actual art. Like I do know that some planner shops, I would say probably a lot of them are like there's clip art involved in making sticker kits, but there are some that are like their own art, and there are some people who have ripped those off too, and I think that's so lame. And it's not only is this one like actually illegal, but it's like robbing creators and small business owners of their income when, you know, they have this kind of cool original idea, and then like these people just kind of swoop in and resell it. And then last but not least, there's people like Holly Hall. Again, that sounds like a burner account if I have ever heard one. This was several years ago, but she claimed to be collecting planner donations for women recovering from addiction. This one, it's such a scam. Ugh, and this like makes me so mad because they preyed on like people's kindness. What she did was she would get these donations, and it would be like stickers, books, pens, planners, you name it, she got it. And then she ended up reselling it. She was caught reselling those items online instead of actually donating it. And then after she was caught and like called out, she deleted her account and blocked everybody, of course. So, it gives me such an ick. So I guess like shop smart, ask questions, and report what you see. This one, this is recent actually, within the last couple of years. So theft at planner conferences. Like, can you even believe this? So Go Wild and other planner conferences, like I've talked about Go Wild, that's been one of like the historically biggest planner conferences, and they're in a different location every year pretty much. And it's basically been like the Super Bowl of planners. Like that's where everybody converges, hangs out, does their thing, you know, and it's super fun, super exciting. There's another one called CPC. There's another one, and that's Chicago Planner Conference. And then there's SGS, which is the Sugary Girl Conference, and that is in Florida usually. And there's a couple of other ones. There was like the West Coast Planners used to do one. I don't know how many of these are still like active, but there are some. But Go Wild was definitely the biggest and the most promoted. So that one was, I would say, historically, I don't know about anymore, but they have been like the Super Bowl of like planner conferences. So all of these conferences are super fun because like we all get together, we get to see each other. Sometimes you get to meet people that you followed online. Sometimes you get to meet like the bigger creators. That's kind of cool. So they're fun, they're exciting, they're expensive, and like they are like an investment for small businesses. But with that investment, it could be like a big opportunity, but it hasn't always been perfect. Multiple vendors in the past have reported inventory going stolen or missing before like the doors even opened for people. So, and this was from multiple shops. One that I can think of in particular, what ended up happening was there was stolen product, and then even like unopened boxes were vanishing. And like the common thread, at least one person that I know for certain were like a bad apple volunteer. So basically what happens is these conferences, they have speakers and stuff that they hire and pay, and then they also give people their Go Wild ticket either at like a discounted price or at a free price if they volunteer for the conference, and they help out and, you know, kind of work the conference as it were. So these volunteers sometimes get unsupervised access to set up and breakdown, and then in one case, a vendor said that their missing product showed up for resale in a planner group. Oh my gosh. And that's like how the volunteer was caught. And I don't know how long after, I would assume just like a week or a few days, because I feel like it happened really fast. And yeah, that was crazy. So maybe not necessarily like a scam, but kind of. And this person was definitely caught, and I think they have been banned from every conference. I don't know if there were like legal repercussions. If you know anything about it, you're welcome to drop it in the comments. But yeah, a volunteer did it. So somebody like super close. And I think like the important thing for this is if you're vending at Go Wild, or if you're speaking even, or if you're like sponsoring tables, try to like bring your own team and have people like watch your stuff, lock up your stuff if you can, and keep like inventory receipts. Sadly, even in our little happy little planner world, people will definitely take advantage. So that has been super lame. Just kind of moving down my list of these kind of things. So there have even been like fake shops, fake sticker shops have been created over the years. So now we're getting into like straight up sticker fraud, I think. One of the wildest cases was a woman posed as a shop owner, and she said that she was going to go to a conference and said that she'd be vending and speaking at like a major planner conference. I don't know which one it was, but she definitely did not. And she didn't even go there. She took pre-orders and said buyers could pick up their items at the booth. But here's the kicker. She wasn't on the vendor list or the speaker list or like on any list. She didn't even have a ticket. Like people found out. She just took the money and like vanished, which is crazy. And then another like fake shop, and this one was kind of crazy. It was called Siren Stickers. I also saw it was under a few other names. They would like send stuff out occasionally, right, to make it look like they were a real business, and they would even hire like a PR team and that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden they would like stop sending stuff. So it was like the perfect scam. So it looked real for a little bit, and then they would just quit sending orders out to people. So this shop has been reported over and over and over using multiple names across Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook. Customers would buy items that never showed up, and then when they reached out, they would get blocked. So that was wild. Oh, and then, yeah, we got to put down the other one. Kind of went out of order, but I got kind of excited about that conference story. Like, that was wild. Can you imagine, like, you buy something cute for the conference and then, like, you show up there to get your stuff and they're, like, not even there? That is wild to me. I can't even believe it. I can't honestly believe any of these things. Like, this is just not in, like, the realm of something that I would ever do. Like, I think I have one person that I owe a sticker book to that I haven't sent it to them, but life has been lifing and I've been busy with, you know, all of the stuff. So I promise I'm not one of these scammers, but I do owe them that. And I do owe you guys my Mercari, but like, I could not imagine like actually I just can't imagine not doing anything or doing something like this. So they said they'd show up there with product and then they weren't even there. Like, they were on none of the lists. Craziness. Yeah, I guess like, let's not forget like counterfeit shops also using product photos. Okay, here's another thing. Like, this is crazy. So these other shops, they weren't even like real shops, but they would like use stock photos from other businesses. So a couple that I had seen in the past were like using passion planner photos, and then another one that used Aura Estelle photos like years ago, and they would try to sell like dupes. And then when the person would get their stuff, or like they weren't actually selling anything at all, that would be kind of the block model, you know, like the person would try to sell or try to buy things and then nothing would ever come. And yeah, so they would just create this shop and like just run this scam, which is so crazy. So I guess like always double check the events lists, and like, because a lot of the conferences also will like say who is going to be there before they're there, or like before you get there. So once you've bought your tickets, then you can kind of verify who's actually going to be there, and definitely doing that is super important. So make sure that you do that. Okay, and then this is a little bit insane to me, and I included this, but I can't tell if it's like kind of a reach, but it rubbed me the wrong way when I saw it. So let's talk a little bit about GoFundMe and like crowdfunding. So this one stings because I feel like it preys on empathy, and like, I feel like things are hard for everybody right now. So someone posted a GoFundMe, and I'm not going to say when or who or where, but they said basically that they didn't have enough money to fully attend the Go Wild conference, kind of going back to that. And that they had like bought the tickets, but that they were maybe like short money or whatever. And so they ended up not being able to go. People ended up donating to this out of like the kindness of their heart. I don't know if she got it like fully paid for, but after the event, the same person posted like their how was the conference vlogs or whatever. So they were like also a creator, I guess. I guess that kind of gives you a little bit of a hint, but hopefully not too much. But they posted these hauls also, and like when I saw, I was like, okay, well, you basically got like your trip at least partially funded by your viewers, but then you're like able to spend money at the conference and like do these hauls and stuff. I don't know. And then just like the idea of asking followers for money to like go to a conference, A conference is a luxury. Like, we all know that these tickets are somewhere between like $500 to $800 per conference. Like, we don't know. That's just a lot of money. And so that is definitely a luxury. And like, if you don't have it, you don't have it. You know, I think it's then time to kind of like bow out, but like then to like come back and like you have the audacity to have like a haul afterwards is like, okay. I think that was a little bit scammy and sleazy. I don't know about you guys. You can let me know if you think that's a reach, but I would not be very happy if that were me. And I would think that my followers would also not be very happy if that were me. I think it's important because like transparency really matters. And like, I feel like if I were one of the people who donated, I would have felt scammed. Not because she went, I mean, that would then just be jealousy on my part, but like because she used community donations to flex, basically. And a lot of those donors like probably couldn't afford to go to the conference themselves either. So before you donate to anyone, even someone you like, I would ask for updates, check their post history, and definitely like follow your gut. So again, this is not like about drama or dragging people or whatever. It's about like creating awareness and boundaries, safety, and protecting a community that we all like really care about. Here's a little recap of the things that you can do. So only pay through platform with buyer protection. So I think that's super important. So if you are being like really asked to use like family and friends on PayPal or whatever, I think that it's really important that you do your due diligence and make sure that you're protected on all of these things. Screenshot every like DM, receipt, interaction, just in case people do delete stuff, which I hate that has to be the way that it is, but it just is. And then speak up even if you're uncomfortable. Support like verified creators and shops. And remember, you can be kind and cautious. And then like in the instance of, you know, when people were basically stealing from vendors at the conferences, if you ever see something like that, say something. And then I guess what I want to know in the comments is, have you ever been scammed or nearly scammed in the planner community? Or have you ever seen one of these kind of scams happen? Have you seen somebody like call someone out? I would love it if you would share your story in the comments. No shame. If we talk about it, we can take away the power that these scammers have. So thanks for watching. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, so thank you again if this is your first video you're ever seeing from me. Hi, my name is Caitlin. I would love it if you would hit that red subscribe button down below and follow along. And check out a bunch of other creators who have made videos about scamming in the planner community as well. There are a handful of them, so make sure you check those out as well. I feel like we could go down kind of a rabbit hole and talk about more things like this. Thanks again for being here. And if you are new, I would love it if you would subscribe down below. And if you are one of my current followers, whether you have been here for 5 minutes or whether you are one of the OGs and you've been around since the days when I thought I was going to be a mommy blogger, thank you so much for all of your love and support. And here's your internet hug for the day. If you'd like to find me anywhere else, you can check me out on Instagram at creatinginchaos_official, as well as on TikTok at creatingin_chaos, I believe is my handle. I keep forgetting that one all the time. And then what else? Oh, if you want to support any of my other projects, I do have a Patreon that I recently launched that talks about all things social media. So whether you want to learn how to do social media like me, I don't know everything, but I will teach you what I know over there. And if you want to do that, you can subscribe to one of those tiers. Or if you just want me to do it for you, I can also work on some social media management. I do have tiers for that, as well as a la carte deals. So if you're kind of looking for just a specific service, that is over there as well. And I think that is it. If you would like to continue your planner shopping, I may have some active affiliate links and codes, and my favorite planner brands are linked down below. And with that, you guys, by the way, have fun today.